Welcome again. Welcome to Gab and Jam. Okay, we're still going. We're
Just
still
a little
going.
bit. Just a little bit more.
We're still going. We're still going.
All
All
right.
right. Welcome to Gab and Jam, episode 60.
Yes. Episode 60.
Okay. This episode is a special episode in response to an interview that we're doing for Tapsongz.com, which is a music blog. And they sent us a list of interview questions, and instead of trying to write it all out and do all that, I figured it was a good opportunity to not only share with them, but share with you some of our journey. Again, so this is one of those question and answer sessions. It's a special episode, but it is answering questions that have been given to us. So I'll be referring to the list. Okay, some of the questions are basic. First one is, where are you from?
Detroit!
Okay, so we're based out of the Detroit area now.
Yeah.
But of course our journey
But let's just go with Detroit.
Let's just go with
Let's go with Detroit from the D.
All right, we're from the D. Okay, good. When did you first begin pursuing music?
When I was born.
Right.
You know, pretty much that's been pretty much.
I was about to say, music is in your DNA from the earliest.
Inception. So, but we've been doing music earnestly since probably the 80s.
Yeah, the 80s, right.
Moving forward.
Yep, we got together in 86, and we kind of been doing it ever since we got together, bonding with music. So, yeah. All right, who were your favorite artists growing up?
It all starts for me with the Jackson 5. So that was like the pinnacle for me. When I saw them, that's really what made me decide, hey, I want to play an instrument, want to do that kind of stuff. But after that, moved on to all the great groups from the 70s, especially R&B groups. Sly and the Family Stone, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, Ohio Players, Funkadelic, Parliament, Brothers Johnson, Maze.
But then when you got to the
Johnny
teen
Guitar
years,
Watson. By the time I got in teen years, Prince, Rick James, Rush.
Yeah. I was about to say, you got kind of to a rock.
Yeah.
More.
Well, but even before that, I was loving Paul McCartney and Wings, and I didn't even know Paul McCartney was ever with the Beatles.
Yeah.
So the Beatles, especially like when I got in high school, I really went down a Beatles rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I used to listen to this all news station, and the day that John Lennon died, this station started playing Beatles songs all of a sudden, and it was like they were playing all these songs. I was like, wow, I didn't know the Beatles. It's like I knew early Beatles, I didn't know late Beatles.
Wow.
And so then it's sort of like, it's like, wow, the Beatles did that, and I really discovered that. And then my brother had, Playboy magazine. They had this interview with John Lennon, and that was like actually one of the times when you're looking at the magazines for the interview.
Right.
That interview was so enlightening about the way John Lennon talked about songs and how he wrote songs about how he's feeling, and it just opened up a whole new world to me.
Right.
So that kind of committed me to the Beatles after that. So Beatles, Stones, a lot of rock bands from that era, from Def Leppard to Yes, to Journey to Foreigner. I mean, you just kind of name it, just a hodgepodge of different stuff. Duran Duran from the kind of new wave stuff, B-52s.
Oh yeah, we just put together a playlist for our daughter because she's now deep into the 80s, and some of the stuff that she's pulling off playlist are the things that we probably like the least. Right. So we put together a playlist for her, especially of the things that we listened to in the 80s.
And it's probably the thing with Prince is that Prince, just seemed to me that he kind of was pulling from the same set of influences that I was pulling from, and he just became a template for how to do it, how to kind of regurgitate that stuff in your own voice.
And I guess I kind of feel the same way about Prince, about the look and about the performance. It was just an amalgam. I mean, he took the James Brown steps, and he took Jimi Hendrix, dress and hair and all that, but he put it all together in his own kind of mix.
His own way.
So it was taking the Prejippie mindset, which is the preps, jits, and the hippies, and kind of putting it together in his own gumbo. So that's probably why we all had that kindred connection.
Because I think for me, like Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin, groups like that, I kind of went down those rabbit holes after I graduated from high school, but in high school it was definitely all the groups that we mentioned before, just all that stuff that was happening. So.
Okay, the next question is, what is your latest project that you released? Explain how it all came together.
So I think the latest thing that we did was, I guess it's between two different projects. So there's the Higher Up, Deeper In thing that we did, and then there's also like the acoustic set.
Yes, the Honey Dipped acoustic set. Yeah. We did that as a special promotion for Record Store Day, and actually that's still going until June 1st, where there were 25 record stores all over the U.S. that we sent a special batch of those to, and we had people, we took, promoted that people can go to those record stores and buy it, and that's the only place you can get that actual CD. It's a retro kind of take on the all acoustic EP.
Yeah, and so it's kind of weird because I think like the Higher Up, Deeper In is kind of like us being in a situation that was very positive for us, that after a while just kind of went past its expiration date with respect to its usefulness, and to this respect where it just stopped being something that was positive for us as far as growing and leaving that situation. And sometimes leaving that situation means that you leave, people who you've grown and have great relationships with, but it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah, it was hard.
Because sometimes you have to turn the page in order to grow. Yeah. And I think that Higher Up, Deeper In is about that. It's an exploration in how you sometimes have to close the door on one part of your life that was very central component of your life to move into, your next level of existence.
A nice transition too, because that's kind of what's behind the whole blooming Prejippie machine.
Yes.
Because Prejippie is the preps, jits, and hippies. We've had that. Right. Since I met you, you had that. And I kind of just it was a perfect fit for me. But then when we left the situation, I felt it was like pruning a plant, like pruning a rose bush, so that we could bloom. And so that was kind of the bloom of Prejippie. Is like, what can we become now that we're not attached to that, and now that we know that we have potential that is way beyond where we've been settling.
And that's the thing. It's kind of weird because you have to, at certain points in your life, you have to leave those situations before they become toxic. Because what starts to happen is that you stay beyond a point that you know that you should be leaving. Then that's where resentment and and the thing of just,
and then low self-esteem for us.
Yourself, but then you start to take it out on other people. And you start to blame other people. And then you start, it's a misplaced feeling of hatred and all the rest of that stuff that is placed upon them. When really it's all on you, because ultimately you are the one that controls your destiny. And so that's kind of what that's about. And then the acoustic set, I think, is again about that same journey. So and looking more positively about what tomorrow has to bring.
So at that time when we first released it, it was right at the beginning of spring. So the spring, everything is opening up and getting green again, and the rain is helping to water the ground, and the ground is responding in kind. So it has a sunny kind of feeling to it. So the next question is, who was your favorite artist that you've seen live? Why were they so good?
Oh shoot, that's a good one. Oh man, wow, that's a tough one. I would probably say, we've always liked Prince.
Yeah,
Prince was just,
and I was about to say Prince for me, easy one, because it was one of my first concert experiences live. My mom, she would break every rule and take every penny and to get to live concerts and things. So that was my first one, and she took me to a gazillion Prince concerts, it seems like. But what I liked about it was him reworking songs on the fly. I like the energy, you know, the dancing, and then of course he had the thing where he would turn out the lights and he'd be up on a speaker cabinet jumping down. It was just always excitement. It was just all areas. Yeah. It was the look that he would come out with. It was the drama of him entering the stage. It was just all of that.
Yeah, so, Prince was like the consummate artist, you know, with respect to, you know, showing that you had to have a certain level of performance. You had to have a certain level of, you know, acumen when it came to the studio and writing songs. You know, and I would almost even take the studio part out of it for Prince, because, you know, I don't think Prince always had like the best sounding records. You know, I mean, they weren't quote unquote that, but I thought the sound of the records fit the songs, and so the musicianship, the arrangement of the songs, and then the ability to actually perform the songs. So I think Prince has to kind of go at the top of the list. There are other people who are just outstandingly great, you know, live. You know, John Mayer's one of them. Oh yeah. You know, he's just an awesome
Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah. But, you know, but again, I just don't know if anyone had that. Only other group I could really think of that just had it like that and just blew me away was I saw Earth, Wind & Fire. And Earth, Wind & Fire was unbelievable. I mean, you know, this is with Maurice White. I mean, they had the drums turning around and things like that. People think about that with Motley Crue and stuff like that. Earth, Wind & Fire was doing it back in the 70s. Verdine White was going up on strings and, you know, like a puppet, and it was nuts. It was just completely nuts.
And they still were playing live,
right? So. And they were playing, and you know, and again, Prince came up in this era. You know, I mean, he came up in the era of James Brown. He came up in the era of these guys that, you know, they had great records, but the live performance was just you know, through the roof. And so, you know, you realize, okay, I got to bring it on all levels, you know, in order to truly be a good entertainer.
That's right. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Do you have plans to tour in 2019?
Yeah, we don't have plans to actually do a musical tour.
Well, and actually, I was about to say, and it says, what are your favorite cities to perform? But we're not touring, but I guess travel.
Yeah,
we're traveling. We're traveling, and we're capturing that experience. So we're vlogging and doing
things,
you know,
like that,
and trying to find like the musical inspiration to those cities. And one of our favorite cities right now is Toronto, and this will be our third time. We're heading there at the end of the week. This will be our third time going, and this time we plan to capture it so that we can share it. But that's it. We just enjoyed the vibe, you know, so much about it. We recently went to Paris. You know, we've been to Austin now. New York, we went a while back. We're going to be heading to Dallas. San Antonio.
And then we're going to London.
Oh, then we're going to London. So, and we haven't been there yet, but so just traveling in general and just experiencing cities, but through a musical lens. Like, we're looking for musical and inspirational experiences to help us write more and do more.
Right.
So maybe it's not touring live, but we're taking our musical lifestyle on the road.
Right.
What are your goals heading into 2019? Tour, new projects, relax?
I would say new projects. So, you know, we, you know, kind of do things under. Well, we got a couple of different band things going on, so I'd like to have another Prejippies record come out.
I was about to say, we are a machine. It's not just, we're two people, but we're like 4 different bands, so it really is. We had a Bourgeoisie Paper Jam, which is a higher up, deeper in. We have the Prejippies, which is more experimental.
Yeah, we're going to have a little bit more of that coming out, and that record's probably going to hit on a whole bunch of different areas. And then
we have Tony Webb, who is the jazz bassist.
Right.
So there'll be more bass, instrumental.
I'm probably looking at least 3 different projects.
And then we kind of seem like we're heading up on a rock thing, but that'll probably be Prejippies. And then, of course, we always still have lingering in the back the techno and the other types of music. We have other areas. So we're music production, which encompasses a lot of different
so I would say probably about 3 or 4 different projects.
And we're doing the Song a Week challenge. So in that Song a Week, we do a song clip every week where we start something or work on something new. And then the other we also post a new track to SoundCloud.
Right.
Every week, that's a complete song. Some of it's pulling from the vault of over 30 years, and then some of it is brand new that we're working on now.
Right. And so, and some of those things are things that will probably lead towards the projects that we're working on.
Yeah. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Is there one artist you could collaborate? If there was one artist you could collaborate with, who would that be and why?
I'm really kind of open to collaborating with anybody. And and the reason why is that I think you always learn and glean from other people when you're open to doing that. So, so I wouldn't necessarily restrict it to
one particular
artist
like
or so. As much as I think that, whether it's a hip hop artist or, an artist is doing rock or, I don't know, country artist, whatever. It's like I'm just really kind of open to see, together.
What could we come up with?
I
like that.
What would it lead to?
And I guess for me, it would be now I'm looking to upgrade or up-level our visuals and our video and our photos.
Right. So collaborating with those type of artists,
with people who have like ideas.
Right.
It's not just about a picture. It's about a story, and so I'm trying to get people who have the same like edgy ideas.
Right.
So if that's you, please send us some links so we can see some of your work because we're ready to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So so for me that would be who. Let's see. How do you think the music industry has shifted over the last several years? Explain the pros and cons and how it impacts artists. And I think this is something we talked about on a recent episode a while back. So you might want to go through some of our older Gab and Jam episodes because we have even discussed, is music now worse than ever, community versus competition, branding that you should be concerned. Now, we love it.
Yeah, but to kind of address the question just quickly.
Yeah.
To me, it's sort of like, I think, as far as artists being able to get their songs out there, to distribute their own product, I think it's better than ever before. I think where it is tougher for artists is the fact that you no longer make money off your recorded material. So the days of having this, the days of Thriller, the days of Purple Rain, the days of Born in the USA, these mega albums coming out, blockbuster albums like a blockbuster film, are over. You just will not see that anymore in the record industry. That's not the way the industry is shaped anymore. So in that way, just taking your recorded material and making money off of it, it's just not the way. It's not out there anymore for you. But as far as now the level, the playing field being a little bit more level between an independent artist and the big conglomerates out there that are running the major record labels, I think that thing is a lot closer than what it used to be. And you just look at whether it's Chance the Rapper,
or Brockhampton,
or Lil Nas X. Again, these are people who are outsiders who basically infiltrated into the music industry, by ways of social media and all the rest of these type of things. So there is that ability to do those things, but I think now you got to be a little bit more creative as far as how you're gonna make money, how if you're gonna sustain something like that, it's not just gonna happen just from putting out records. Right. That day is over. So in that sense, that's the con. I mean, the upside is, like I was saying before, the opportunities
is there for anybody, for everybody. Yes. Right. Finally, is there anything unique or interesting about yourself that we should include in the feature article? So
I think for us the thing is that we, as I think any artist, you have your own voice, you have your own perspective, and I think that's the thing for us is that when it comes to doing music, our approach has always been we're gonna put together things that we feel sound good, and so
that we're passionate about. Yes,
right?
Yes.
And this is gonna sound cliche, and that is that we don't necessarily look at genre, we don't look at any of that kind of stuff, and I don't think that you can classify what we do in a specific genre.
Right.
just challenge you to do it. There's always going to be something within the stuff that we're producing that kind of it just escapes a clear classification as to where it fits, and that's really what we do and who we are, you know. And I think for us is just always trying to find that tribe, you know, because the part that's always been weird to me is that I can understand people, you know, not liking it, you know, people being apathetic about it. But what's always surprising to me is when it upsets people. Yeah. That's the part that I just never can understand. Right. Why are you angry about it? Right. You know, I mean, that's that again. I had apathy. I don't like it. Right. And, you know, fine. That's good, but I don't understand why people get upset about it. So. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I have to say.
And then also, again, I go back to what I said in the beginning, that we are a machine, that we're a duo, but it's so much more than music. I mean, now it's the podcast, it's the YouTube channel, it's the blog, it's Facebook groups that we're running, it is everything. It's the music production. We're doing music sync licensing, so it's everything. It's
well, that's kind of going back to that point again. You can't establish yourself within this industry by just, you know, trying to put out records, and that's just it. You know, it's just now you have to think in a 360 way about what you do. You have to do that, and you have to control all of these aspects of what you do. But I think that, you know, what you can do is that you can actually control it, you know, from an artistic perspective.
What do you mean?
You know, just with everything, you look at it, you know, through an artistic lens. So you look at your marketing through an artistic lens. So meaning that you think about ways to market that serves the music, to market that's honest to you as an artist. Yeah. Which is not always something that you would get if you were with some major company. Right. Now, you probably wouldn't be as successful either. But, you know, at the same token, you will find yourself being true to the art. So and to me, at this juncture, I think that is more important than just trying to figure out how to make money.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. All right, so that'll do it. As always, if you dig the vibe, be sure to
subscribe.
And we're wishing you love, peace, and
chicken grease.
See you later. Bye-bye.